This to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem, Rakak Kadesh. The runners to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Alright, this is Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 1. I will stand upon my watch, and will set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, what I shall answer when I am approved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Young Leaders Program, Klaus Schwab, particularly giddy about being able to fill half of Canada's cabinet with its members. This video clip from 2018 happened to begin trending online.
A federated digital ID ecosystem developed in collaboration with Canada's best and brightest talent from our banks, telecommunication companies, law enforcement, and government. It would have the power and security to store every Canadian's electronic identity and attributes, and it would unlock countless opportunities for Canadians to verify who they are safely, quickly, and securely, while only revealing the information necessary for each transaction. A fast, easy, and secure way to bank, sign up for government services, renew driver's licenses or health cards, shop, travel, and more. Canada's banks are perfectly situated to help lead the creation of a federated digital ID system between government and the private sector. The World Economic Forum agrees that banks and financial institutions should lead the path forward for digital ID.
Yeah, trust the World Economic Forum and banks, says this guy. They're the right people to help keep our data safe and secure. The WEF and banks are quite literally the world's wealthiest and elite, and their track record doesn't exactly prove they have the best interest of average people in mind. Now look, digitizing certain information is without a doubt convenient. I love being able...
This is Revelations, chapter 13, verse 14. And he deceived them that dwelt on the earth by the means of the miracles which he had powers to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had been wounded by the sword and did live. And the beast is the Roman NATO, which is now NATO, the revised Roman Empire, which is now NATO, headed by the harlot, which is America, Babylon the Great. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause his meaning as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man may buy or sell, save he that hath the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Alright, and we see that this beast is beginning to come true. Alright, the prophecy being fulfilled right now at this very moment. They are preparing the mark of the beast. Let's get a little bit more of the video.
To leave my house without my purse, knowing my credit cards are stored on my phone for unexpected trips to 7-Eleven. And I'm sure there are a number of benefits from moving to digital identification that they, the ominous they, will use to sell us on. And let's start there with the ominous they. Why are they actively pushing for this concept of a digital society? Usually advancements in technology happen naturally. As more and more people adopt the new thing, the old thing becomes a relic. For example, neither the government nor banks nor elite came out advocating for me to switch from cassette tapes to CDs and then on to MP3s. None of the elites have told me I must use my Apple Wallet rather than carry around my plastic cards. People either adopt the new advancement or they don't. No one is being forced into it. Some people can still carry around cash and they won't even use plastic, let alone Apple Pay. But what's odd about digital identification system is that rather than just rolling them out and letting those who want to use them, it's being advocated for by bankers and elites and pushed for by the World Economic Forum, not as a choice, but as a requirement. They're hoping governments adopt a federated digital identification system rather than private companies offering it as a convenience. And this is leaving a lot of people feeling very uneasy about the move. Okay, so there's the obvious benefits of digitizing your birth certificate.
Alright, so she's saying they are forcing people to do it whether they want to or not. All right, and we all know this is a control thing. This is Exodus chapter 21, and I'm gonna start at verse 2. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years shall he serve, and in the seventh shall he go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he should go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife should go out with him. So it's saying if you had a wife before you became a servant, then you will get to keep her. Right? If not, the master keeper. If his master have given him a wife, she have borne him sons or daughters. The wife and her children should be her masters, and he should go out by himself. All right. Now, this is what they're getting at. This is why they want everybody to take this mark. And if that servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, and will not go out free, then his master should bring him into the judges, and he should also bring him to the door, unto the doorpost, and his master should bore his ear through with an awl, and he should serve him forever. Alright, so this is them asking us to serve them forever. And the reason for that is that they know that Jacob's rule comes next. Alright? And taking this mark, this is Esau trying to continue his kingdom, which his kingdom is coming to an end.
Security card, bank cards, and other important documents. If there's ever a fire or things get stolen, you have backups online. Most of us keep our money in the bank with some sort of benefit. If somebody were to break into my house, for example, they're not going to find my entire life savings laying around in my bedroom. And I'm sure there was some level of resistance back in the day when companies wanted to start cutting checks to their employees rather than paying them in cash. I'm sure there were plenty of people who were skeptical of it and didn't want to have to hand over their money to a bank. So I understand there's natural levels of resistance and even paranoia whenever there's some sort of change in the way we live our lives. But if my employees really wanted to be paid in cash, I suppose I could do it. No one's forcing me to cut checks or direct deposit. But when something's being federated, the choices begin to dwindle. As it is, currently about 1 billion people around the globe have no form of identification, no way to prove who they are. Their births are unrecorded. They were never registered with their government's vital records departments, if their government even had one at all. We get into enormous debates in this country about using IDs to vote. The reason being, many people are without official government IDs. Lots of people currently can't fly in a plane because they lack a quote-unquote real ID, and have since lost their birth certificates or other forms of necessary ID to secure one. So a lot of people are already disenfranchised because they lack an official form of government identification. It isn't just about voting or traveling. It's about opening bank accounts, registering for social services, and renting an apartment. Of course, those who advocate for a digital identification system claim that the digital ID will solve many of these problems. If your vitals and attributes are on record, such as fingerprints or facial recognition, then the government will always know who you are and you'll never get lost in the system. They'll also always know where you are and what you buy and who you visit, and where you travel and which medicine you take and what you're allergic to. They might want to use digital identification before you can log on to the internet so they can know which websites you visit and social you post. And I'm sure this will all be done not only for convenience, but for safety, they'll say. And don't worry, I doubt anyone will hack your record.
All right, I'm just going to stop right there. I think the point was made, and I'm just going to read. This is 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter, 4th verse. In whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Mashiach, who is the image of Yahweh, should shine unto them. Alright, so right now, if anyone can't understand or can't get what the mark of the beast is, that's the God of this world has blinded them, which we know that Satan is the God of this world at this time. Alright, now, the reason they are pushing this is 2 Ezra, the 6th chapter, the 7th verse. Then answered I and said, what should be the pardon in the sonnets of the time? Or when should the end of the first and the beginning of that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. Alright, so this is them trying to hold it off. Esau's the end of the world, and the Esau world is coming to an end, and they trying to extend their time, but it's not going to work. Alright, for Jacob, it's the beginning of it that follows. It's about time for Jake to rule, and with that, I'm gonna say, Shalom.